The Northern is an economic development agency. We look across our sectors and try and support those sectors that have the greatest benefit to our economy. And we support big projects and initiatives that are going to lift our economy. The primary sector currently contributes between 20 and 30% of our economy, employs over 4,000 people. That's direct contribution. When you think about all the other businesses that survive off primary sector, it starts to become one of the most important sectors we have. Extension 350 was an opportunity to do something to support the primary sector. What does the primary sector need to face the challenges you could see coming for it, to improve its productivity, to continue to have an environmental licence to operate?
So Extension 350 came about because we were looking to directly engage with 350 farmers across Northland.
The program came about 7 years ago. Some leading farmers in Northland. We wanted to roll the concept out, what we'd learnt on other previous farms across the wider pastoral sector in Northland. And how we set Extension 350 up was you have a mentor farmer who's a wise and experienced farmer, and then you get a target farmer who's someone up and coming, and match those two together. Beneath the target farmer, we put 5 associate farmers who come along on the journey and apply some of those learnings to their own farm. And alongside that, we brought a consultant in to aid them and give them some really good advice.
From a target farmer perspective, it was really about identifying who was committed to change, because change is not easy. The connection piece, the selection was really based on identify who were the farmers who had an appetite to help their peers succeed. And it came down to who had time to actually give back.
We typically chose the middle of the road farmers. We didn't choose all the top performers, so a lot of middle of the road farmers as target farmers. And what we've done through having a mentor farmer and a consultant involved is that we've introduced some business disciplines.
And I think part of it's also having the accountability that you've got other people on your farm, investing in your farm and putting time into it. And that actually does drive behaviour. What are the critical components in these businesses? And we've talked about having a triple bottom line. And this is the 3 planks that we call it in E350. So this is about delivering improved profitability, improved environmental sustainability, and improved wellbeing, farmer wellbeing. Finding that balance isn't easy, but that's something as part of E350 being really, really intentional in doing.
And looking back when we set that project up, having those 3 key planks was quite visionary. Back then it wasn't that commonplace to talk about wellbeing or environmental sustainability. Farmers were just beginning on that journey. But over the time, as E350 has developed, it has become commonplace, and it's been great to have farmers doing that as part of their day-to-day business.
If you go back far enough, most people thought of economic development as growing GDP, and that's all you did. And it was just what was good for a business, whereas E350 was an opportunity for us to change that and say, well, actually, no, economic development is a much more holistic approach to supporting activity. It ensures that you do things that are good for people, so you have good jobs, good employment, but you look after the environment, and you do that within a social and cultural setting.
So we'd believe farmers are more prepared to, tackle the challenges that are coming down the tracks at them. A key part of why they're more prepared is because of the networks they've developed. So through 350, they've been introduced to a whole range of other farmers, but also supporting consultants, supporting rural professionals. And with those networks, not only do they have more people to talk to and more reference points, but they're arguably more open to new ideas and to say, hey, yep, this is going to be challenging. Yes, this will be confronting, but actually this journey of change that you're on, it's about you guys achieving your own vision. Some of the benefit mentors have got out of E350 with the opportunity to walk with other farmers through this journey, been really, really significant.
So farmers are very willing to share information and help each other. And to do that, you've actually got to open up your books at times and let a mentor farmer see what a target farmer's doing. But that's one of the great things about the farming industry. Farmers will help farmers.
Big impacts, I suppose, of E350 has been the collaboration that we've seen. So that's collaboration between the different funding partners, NRC, Dairy NZ, Beef and Lamb, MPI, but also collaboration with the industry, so the likes of Fonterra, and collaboration amongst our consultants. So bringing this network together to actually drive this great opportunity and this great outcome for Northland. That's been really significant. And I think that's been a real strength of Northland Inc. leading it because of its ability to bring these different players together in a non-partisan approach.
Probably for me, one of the biggest successes of E350 was the ability to learn and grow. Farmers needed to learn and grow what suited their business, but we needed to learn and grow how we delivered the project. We did adapt, we changed the project as we needed to. And I think probably the other thing we can be most proud of is we're having conversations about what next.
We've actually shifted farmers on their whole journey along environmental sustainability. It's preparing them for the future. They're thinking about what's coming up ahead, and the farmers involved with Extension 350 are in a lot better place than had they not been. The funders should be proud that they've actually funded this. We're looking at the cost-benefit ratio of about 12:1. You know, that's fantastic, but there's also been wider benefits that we haven't modelled. Keeping farmers enjoying life, enjoying their farming, active in their communities through this whole period. And lastly, as we've talked about, you know, environmental sustainability. We haven't modelled that again financially, but huge benefits to the farmers involved in getting them ahead of the game.
Just seeing the amount of confidence people had, the farmers, the mentors, the associates, us ourselves involved as a project team around our confidence around having these conversations around well-being. It's an area that we sometimes try and avoid, even though we might be feeling that there is something that is just not right, that is probably impacting on what's happening in the farm business. But we just gave us more confidence to actually be open about having the conversation and actually introduce it in a non-confrontational manner that people are willing to engage with it.
Look, we recognise the whole program's had huge value to farmers. Wellbeing's been a very intentional part of it, but probably we don't realise how much effect it's actually had until you get out and actually talk to the farmers in the field and help them make decisions, help them with what's happening in their family, within their farms and within their businesses and in their community.
And that's, I suppose, one of the most rewarding experiences when you hear directly from farmers about what's happened in their lives and how things have changed. And it's not just about business growth. It's about, you know, how do they relate to their partners? How do they relate as a family? How do they actually start thinking of things beyond milking another 10 cows or managing the mud? That's been, those sorts of things have been incredibly rewarding.
For those that did not get the opportunity or were a little bit reluctant to come forward, I think when they look back and hear the stories about the achievements of the target farmers, if there was another opportunity, they'll definitely jump in. I would recommend this program to anyone who wants to move forward with their farm business.
This project has made a real difference for the farmers involved. That's something all the people who have been involved with can hold their head up high.
We think it really probably over-delivered in terms of farmers involved. The change you've seen across all of those things on farm, the level of interest and the interest in doing something next.